Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very exciting video. I recently just moved out of my apartment into a new high-rise, so that is why I'm in a new recording location. I'm actually currently in my movie theater room. So today there's literally so much I can tell you and that I want to tell you guys about starting up your Airbnb business, but I'm just gonna avoid jabbering on too much and just do a quick Q&A and get right to your questions. I had posted on my social media to ask some questions, so I'm just gonna get into that. If you guys have more questions, comment below. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, put that little bell on so you don't miss a video, because I'm here to give value. I'm here to add tools to your toolbox to help you guys unlock financial freedom. Okay, so let's get into it. So question number one came from Kate at KEIEU_F. She asks, what is it like to maintain it? How big of a commitment is it to run, and issues you've had? Okay, that's a few different questions, so I'm gonna start from the beginning. What is it like to maintain it? So for me personally, I'm thankful that I'm set up in a way where I worked my ass off to be in a position where it runs itself now. So I have switched out my door locks to Bluetooth locks, so my guests, can check in and out on their own. I have security cameras set up, like their Ring, so that, I can still monitor what's going on. I know when doors are being opened and closed and such. And then I also have a cleaning lady that goes in and actually flips the units for me. So what is it like to maintain it? It's really easy to maintain it for me. However, setting it up was probably, I'm not gonna say it was like the hardest thing in my life or anything, but it was definitely like the hardest business startup. It was a lot of fucking work. It was a lot more work than I intended. That was kind of my problem. I don't really think about like how much work is this gonna take, blah, 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 blah. All I know is I gotta do it. So it was a lot of work to get started. So your next part of your question was how big of a commitment is it to run? I kind of just told you, it's really not that big of a commitment to run. It's mainly just the startup that is so much. And issues I've had, I've had so many bumps on the road that I don't even know how to answer this question. But to name a few, for example, I've had some parking issues. Like my first guest ended up getting booted, and then I learned that I could really only have one car at a time. Just like small things like that. Switching out the locks was really, really difficult. I had to refurnish my apartment basically, or redecorate it to make it more gender neutral. It was just like some small little, not just some minor things that I had going on, but I haven't had any crazy issues. Mind you, I'm still in my first month of the listing, so it took me a month to get it together, and now I've had 3 guests already. So challenges you faced being young and getting started. I'm 22. Asks at it's Jada. Okay, the challenges I faced being young and getting started, I would definitely say the hardest part was having nobody to ask for help. I think that has to do with also a lot the fact that I'm away from home and I don't really have my friends or family around to help me, because normally I would call my brother hey, can you come switch out this lock? Call my sister look, we gotta clean, you know what I mean? Have one of my friends help me go shopping, have somebody else come help me put together the furniture, moving things, making decisions. There's just so much that goes into it, and I had to do it all on my own. And then on top of actually having to execute the plan by myself, I had to actually come up with the plan by myself. I had to do all my own research. I purchased a course, listened to podcasts, went to conferences, networked, stuff like that, watched YouTube, read books, to try to researched on Airbnb myself, to try to learn all I could as far as how to even get things set up and the logistics behind it. So yeah, definitely just not having someone I could call hey, when I'm setting up my account, do I push this button or this button? Or hey, I've been getting a lot of requests for people that want to stay for months. What do you guys think about that? Literally just being alone. And I think that kind of has to do with being young too, but also, you know, in general, I think that it's hard to pave the way. So that part. Okay, question 3 comes from @goldmine_. Are you paying rent at both places until people start booking you? Girl, yes. Okay, so I moved out of my apartment in the first week of October, I'll say that. And my goal was to have it listed by Halloween, like I wanted my first guest by Halloween. So I had moved out of that apartment to here. Mind you, I had left all my furniture there. And so I had to like start over, buy all new furniture. So I had like 2 things going on at once. I'm trying to get together this place and to get together this place. I had to pay rent over here. And then mind you, my lease was up there and then I re-signed a month to month. So they added an extra $300 a month to my lease on top of paying, you know, a first month rent and double rent because I had to put this first month's rent down as a deposit as well. Like it was a huge financial barrier. That was definitely really tough until, you know, you get it going. So that's why you want to be able to try to minimize the time that it takes you to get it together. Like I wish I would have done more while I was still living there, but I was just still stuck on step by step by step by step instead of like trying to, you know, get more done. I don't know, I had so much going on at the time. I'm not mad at the way I did things, but I definitely made it harder on myself. So I'm here to tell you now, get your Airbnb together so by the time you move on or whatever the case may be, you want to minimize the time that it's not making money and it's just sitting there. So yes, I was paying double rent, but as soon as I listed it, I think like by the next day I already had like 3-4 bookings and had people in there within 2 days, I would say, of listing it. I had guests already in, and I've had like 4 guests already. I have someone else checking in. My Airbnb has been booked every single day since I listed it. Today, this will be the first night that it wasn't booked. And I have someone coming in on Friday, and then I have someone coming for a week. So I would say I have about like 18 days of November already booked, and you know, it's still room for more. This one comes from my mom. What does it have to offer? Perks for when someone's coming out of town? What is near? First off, there was so much competition in my area. Literally, there's probably like a good 20 other Airbnbs within my complex. So the competition was heavy, and that was like something last minute that was really freaking me out. I was scared because I'm like, why is anyone gonna choose my Airbnb over that one, you know, or that one or that one or that one? Because a lot of the other ones were like really nice. Like you could tell that the people that were running them were like management companies that had a whole portfolio. So they were like, had a huge budget for decorating. They had like wallpapers, like throw pillows that matched, like new carpets, pool tables, foosball tables. Like they had the 2 bedrooms with the 2 love. Like some of their Airbnbs went crazy. So I decided to make mine more, I guess the point of what I'm saying is you kind of have to find a niche or a theme for your place if you want it to stand out, if you have competition. So I decided to make mine more business savvy. So I left my like giant desk there, you know, and then I have like my whole office area is set up over there, and I left everything like the whiteboards, the calendar, the decor. I actually left my Apple desktop computer in there and my printer. So I think that really makes my place stand out. And then also the fact that I have the Ring security camera and like it's on every single lock and door in there, I think that really helps my listing stand out. So that, I guess, is the offer perks for someone coming out of town. What is it near? My place is literally like less than 15 minutes from the airport, 1 exit from downtown. It's in a really decent location as far as geographically, so I lucked out with that one. I kind of just had the opportunity to make it work, and I did it. The last question I have is from Cassie Creed. Make sure you guys subscribe to her YouTube channel too. It's Cassie Creed. Asks definitely where/how to get startup money and resources just to get started would be helpful. Girl, okay, there's not really an easy answer, so I hope that you're not looking for something easy. I'll tell you what I did, but there's obviously many ways to go about things. So me personally, I saved up money I planned like months in ahead for this transition to happen, or as much as I could. I honestly opened a new credit card. I found ways to make some fast money. I borrowed money from friends. I kind of literally did everything I could to scrounge up the money, not only just for my Airbnb, but like I said, I still had another apartment that was empty and had, you know, $5,000 owed on it between the rent and the deposit and the application fee. And then my rent got raised over here. And then on top of it, when I moved, mind you, remember, I left my couch, my bed, my desk, all my furniture at my old place. So I'm literally over here in this new beautiful high-rise, sleeping on the ground. So on top of doing all that, you have to be ready to sacrifice. Like, I gave all that I had. Like, I gave every dollar, every resource, every favor I had. I pulled that card, you know, like, I sacrificed everything, all my time. I put so many other projects on hold. I quit my job. I was serving. I walked out on my serving job. Like, yeah, you gotta be ready to give everything you have and then some, at least from my experience, from how I did it realistically. I mean, yeah, if you have other circumstances that, you know, it is, but for me, I had to struggle, I had to sacrifice, I had to wonder if I was gonna be able to pull it off multiple times. I had mental breakdowns, I went through sadness, fear, all of the emotions. Like, it's been a journey. Okay, those are all of the questions that I'm going to answer tonight, but I would love for you guys to ask me more questions, and I would rather just keep doing Q&As than explain my whole process, because quite honestly, like, long videos are hard on me, and I think they're hard on you guys too. So let's just, you know, talk about what you want to hear. We'll tell you the cost. I'm gonna just tell you the real numbers. So my rent over there was previously $1,300 plug. Then they added an extra $300 a month for the month-to-month fee. So now I'm paying $1,600. I spent about $800 on like decor, supplies. You know, I had to, like I said, redecorate because it was girly-ish and I wanted it to be more like businessy. On top of, like, you know, toilet paper. I had to buy all new towels, sheets, multiple comforters, an air mattress, you know, dishes, all of those type of things. And then I spent about $600 on cleaners, handyman type things. You know, I had to get the new locks switched out. I had my closet, I turned one of the closets into like a supply closet, so I turned it into a deadbolt lock for around $3,000, I would say. And then on top of that, I had my first month rent, my deposit, and all new furniture over here. So I had a rough month on top of all my other bills. So yeah, please drop your questions below. I will either comment the answer or I'll write them down and put them in a part 2 Q&A. And also I'll probably have more of an update for you guys on how my Airbnb is going, because like I said, I'm basically almost a month in, less than a month in, definitely. Today is November 10th, so I'm only like literally like on week 2 to 3 doing this. But I appreciate you guys. Please subscribe, check out my other videos. I have such a wide variety of videos, but honestly, this is what I love to do. I want to teach y'all, show y'all, bring y'all on the journey with me, okay? So many people that you're watching are like so far ahead. They got 10 Airbnbs. You know what I mean? Me, you are one step behind me. This is your chance. Come with me. I'll lead you the way. I'm only one step, so you still might make mistakes, but you can help the person behind you, okay? We gonna get this together. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Y'all wanna see my movie room? Look at this. That's me. This is my favorite place to come and do homework. It's kind of on this like stand thing, so it looks weird, but this is my movie room. I wanna do some type of tour here, and it's only right that I show you guys this view. I gotta show you guys it during the day. but it is worth the struggle. It was worth the doubt. It was worth the sadness. It was worth the questioning. I still am experiencing those things every day. And one thing I will say, since I'm having a moment, is I still struggle. Like, I still struggle, but something I noticed actually like a few episodes of struggle ago is that I just struggle more comfortably now. Like, I used to struggle, literally I have damn near the same problems, but they're just like, I'm more comfortable having them. Like, I'm sad in a Mercedes in a high rise. I'm not sad in a broke down Toyota wondering where I'm gonna sleep at night anymore, you know? Still might be sleeping on an air mattress, but it comes with a hell of a view, okay? So, keep on keeping on, y'all. I wanna see y'all be my neighbors. All right, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.